Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Senior Cat Wellness. If you are a first timer or a returning guest, please hit that subscribe button if you do feel so inclined, and turn on all post notifications so that you never miss a video. Additionally, if you'd like to make contributions to the channel in other ways, those links can be found in the description box below. Today, it's all about fixing behaviors, fixing those issues and concerns that could be troubling you at this very moment along the road of your cat ownership journey. Cats are very adorable, of course, and loving and never short of personality, but sometimes, on occasion, their behavior can leave us rather confused, to say the very least. And if you are dealing with biting and scratching and those 3 a.m. zoomies sessions where your cat just runs around the house nonstop and that constant meowing for what seems like to you possibly at times no reason at all, you're certainly not alone, no matter how long you've owned cats. We've all dealt with this many times. So these issues are very common. But the good news is that the majority of them can be fixed rather quickly in rather short order once you really understand what exactly is going on and what your cat's trying to tell you. So today, we're going to talk about 7 of these most common cat behavior problems and issues, and the most simple and effective ways that you can start getting the fix on right here and right now, right after this video. Hopefully, right after this video. First one is biting. And at the time of publication, if you are a regular around these parts, I think my previous video was about biting and aggression, so we'll knock that one out first. It's biting. It's certainly an issue, and it doesn't feel too pleasant, that's for sure. Whether it's during a play session or seemingly out of nowhere, your cat's being aggressive for reasons that you don't understand. Biting is a big complaint that a lot of cat owners have, and I've always had, probably always will have. But in most cases, biting can come from overstimulation or some sort of anxiety in the home. Your cat's worked up for whatever the reason, and biting becomes their way of sort of snapping and showing their displeasure. The fix, if we're talking about a petting session or a play session, is before it all sort of breaks loose, so to speak, watch for these warning signs. Cat's flickering its tail, those ears are pinned back, the skin is twitching, the mood, their body has maybe tightened up or stiffened a bit. The mood has definitely changed. And during playtime, if you know your cat has a tendency to do this, use toys that are hands-off, which means if they get in a situation like this, you don't have to worry about being bitten or clawed or scratched or any of that. So sometimes it's on your side of things. It's not about being strict. It's about setting up those responsible boundaries and understanding your cat's limits. And if they're sort of, if they have a history of sort of doing this, it's best to take preventative measures before they can inflict some pain on you, which is certainly something you don't want. Next common issue that a lot of owners deal with is scratching. Not of you necessarily, that's sort of the first one in some regards, but scratching the furniture, tearing up the furniture. You know, what's the old stereotype? The cat's torn up somebody's slippers. I don't see that as much, but when I was coming up, you'd see little commercials and TV shows where the cat's gotten into someone's clothing or clawed a hole in the sofa and all that. I think a lot of us have seen that before. Whether if it's not in real life, it's certainly on the screen, on the TV screen, or even the big screen. But scratching of this nature, this isn't a behavior. A lot of people think, well, that's just what cats do. No, they're doing it for a reason. They don't just, it's not something cats do if they don't feel like they sort of need to. It's something's going on. They're doing it for a reason. It's a form of communication to get your attention. They need a way to sort of vent. They're getting your attention in some other ways. Now, it is true that cats do claw and scratch, but we're talking about aggressive type behaviors. If the root cause can't be found in fairly short order, the best course of action is to give them a solution, give them a positive solution, a scratching post, anything where they can sort of channel their negativity or even their anxiety into something that doesn't involve destroying your property. Like I said, scratching post, sprinkle some catnip on it or hang a toy on the scratching post just to take their attention elsewhere. Once your cat realizes that scratching post is much more fun and satisfying than your sofa, typically that problem fades away almost instantly. So I'll address, and I have in the past, but I'd be more than happy to do it again, talking about the reasons why cats scratch. But right now, it's all about the quick fixes. If we're talking about a quick fix, we can address these root problems a little bit later. But right now, first solution is, hey, let's get the cat to quit messing up your furniture. So scratching post, that's a must. That is a must to protect your property. Next, we're talking about meowing up a storm. Excessive meowing. Cats vocalize for attention, for food. If they're stressed, they do it if they're bored. The trick And it's always a fun time, especially if you're a new owner, is to figure out, okay, what is this meow? What is this a given meow? What does it mean? It's not just they're not just talking to hear themselves talk. They're trying to tell you something. So what are they trying to tell me? What's my cat trying to tell me? Uh, well, the way to sort of bridge these gaps, even when the gaps may not be understood, is to make sure that you're sort of on point with the daily routines. Make sure the feeding times are consistent. Make sure their environment is colorful with plenty of things to do, things to enjoy, mental and physical enrichment, toys, a good window view. What cat doesn't like a good window view? And make their day more cat friendly. They'll probably communicate a bit less if all of their needs and even their wants are being met on the routine. Sometimes it can take a few days, maybe in a week or two. But most cats learn quickly that um, calm behavior is what gets the rewards, not really constant meowing and constant noise. And hey, if their complaints are being met with, hey, maybe they want a window view, now they've got one, that's one less reason to meow. That's one less reason to complain to you, which obviously makes your life just a bit easier, of course. Next up, I mentioned it in the intro, the zoomies, your cat running amok at night. If your cat treats the overnight hours like it's the Olympics, which is a sort of a thing, thing that I've said, if track and field is now a 3 a.m. event, they're not, most of the time they're just not burning enough energy. They've got all this pent up energy, and they've saved the night moves for the right time, the wrong time for you, the right time for them. So the way to combat this is, hey, during the waking hours, let's give your cat some quality play sessions and where they can sort of tucker themselves out a bit and make sure after they get that nightly feeding that they'll be going to sleep instead of jumping sofas in your living room. Uh, the nighttime cycle, it's all about the hunt and the stalk and all of that. But if we can get most of that done during the day, especially in the prime time hours, it'll be less likely that they'll take to it at 3 a.m. Next up, and this is the fifth issue is at hand. It's I talked about biting before. Let's sort of pivot and let's just call this lashing out. Cat may be stressed in their environment. Sudden aggression, it can come from stress in the environment, or it can come from something internal. Maybe they're in pain, maybe they're fearful, maybe it's redirected frustration, which means they're taking out their frustration on you, when in truth you have really nothing to do with the reason they're upset. Could be another cat in the home that's got them on edge. So if the behavior suddenly changes, it's worth checking out to see what's going on in the environment. And also, hey, if you can't find anything, could be something internal. So we need to make sure your cat is healthy. We can address all these behavior issues at another date. The first line of business is to make sure that your cat is not acting out because they're in pain. So take your cat to a vet. Let's make sure they're healthy. And if they've got a clean bill of health, then we can proceed with trying to sort of figure out what's going on in the environment. But it's all about giving your cat space, giving your cat a quiet outlet to calm down, and just take it from there. And if this aggression continues, it's looking more and more that it's not like an environmental type of situation, then a vet visit could be in order. Next up, number 6, your cat's not using that litter box, right? That's not good for them. It's not good for you. This is a very personal thing. Most cats never, it's never really they're acting bad. It's here again, it's a sign of communication. They're either telling you about the litter box, which again, in the big picture, this scenario is the best. If the litter box is too dirty, too small, maybe they just want it cleaned out. In truth, that's the best you could hope for. Hey, whew, I dodged one there. It's just a litter box problem. But some cats, they start refusing to use the litter box if they're not well. Here again, it goes back to our health concern issues. So make sure that litter box is fresh and clean and big enough for an entrance and an exit. They're not cramped in the litter box. Make sure it's in a sort of a friendly environment for them to handle their business. But if you've done all you can with the litter box itself and it's sort of smelling like a rose with that clean litter, yet they're still using the restroom in another spot, could be dealing with some level of a health issue. So vet checkups, very important, always important. Next up, last but not least, your cat's afraid. Something's going on, they're overwhelmed. A new environment changes the environment, changes in your family. Instead of trying to force this interaction to make sure they're okay, sit back and sort of let them make the moves. Put the ball in their court. Let them come to you on their terms. Provide maybe some hiding spots, maybe a retreat. A lot of times on the channel, I'll talk about providing your cat with a home within your home. When things get a little hot and tensions build for whatever the reason, give your cat a bit of an escape route, a place they can go within your home that's just for them. It's not something that you share with them. It's their bed, their toys, their blankets, their relaxing area, a place where they can get away in their own little secure area. A lot of things can make a cat on edge. Some things that can be very obvious. Some things can be so subtle to you, you may spend weeks trying to figure out what the problem is. But give your cat an outlet to sort of take a nap, take a load off, as we say, if they're really frustrated. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your thoughts on this topic? I hope I provided a good list here. We got 7 things, and this is all about those quick fixes. So I'm not going into too much detail with each one. That can be a subject of video for another day. But these quick fixes, what you can do in the short term to sort of get your cat on the right track and get that ownership journey back on the right track. So anything you'd like to add to this topic, that comment section, as always, it's all yours. If you enjoyed today's material, found it helpful, found it informative, please give the video a like and share it out. Subscribe to us right here at Senior Cat Wellness. Until next time, we will talk to you later.